Roll it.
All right. What's up, y'all? My name is Ian Edwards, and welcome to the Soccer Comment Rant. This podcast is available at allthingscomedy.com. And if you go to allthingscomedy.com, you will see a ton of podcasts from some of the funniest people in America. They're all comics with all their own podcasts covering a variety of topics. There's Bill Burr and the Monday Morning Podcast. There's also Bill Burr and the Bill and Bert Podcast. There's Tiger Belly with Bobby Lee, The Dollop, World Record Podcast with Brendan Walsh, and Who the Fuck is Mike Young, and Eddie Pepitone, and Danish and O'Neill, and Taylor Gordon, and Corinne Fisher. So just go to allthingscomedy.com and check out all the podcasts there. And the sponsor for the show is onthevolleyapparel.com. Hopefully I didn't confuse the two. And if you go to onthevolleyapparel.com, and they have a lot of soccer-related gear with soccer and hip-hop emblems mixed together to create great designs. I have on one of their shirts. This is the Wu-Tang symbol with a soccer field on it. So you could check that out. And so go to onthevolleyapparel.com. They got tanks, tees, hoodies, and sweatshirts for men and women. Use my promo code ComicRant to get 20% off. And I'm going to introduce Martin first so that he can help me introduce Neil. Martin is outside of CBS. When he's not doing this podcast, he's outside of a CBS. If you're watching this on YouTube, which I, adore everybody to like and subscribe. But Martin Harris, a sports journalist, writer for 442 magazines, been into a ton of movies, including The Hunt and TV shows. Yeah, which show with LL Cool J did you do last year, Martin?
NCIS Los Angeles.
Yeah, I couldn't remember which state, but it's NCIS. Yeah, so you'll see Martin all over the place in a bunch of stuff. And he's also the voice of a lot of characters in video games. What up, Martin?
Hey, good to see you, man.
And I want Martin, Spurs fan, to help me introduce Neil Chakravarty, comic from San Diego, Chelsea fan, and he is wearing a Chelsea surfing guy's outfit right now. What up, Neil, and your wetsuit that you got on, your Chelsea wetsuit?
Well, I think the wardrobe is justified because Chelsea is about to sink next weekend.
Well, we were sinking, but as any good swimsuit maker would tell you, they'll let you float after a while.
Yeah, I don't know if a swimsuit maker tells you that, but
the scuba suit, sorry.
Scuba suit? Yeah.
Scuba suits, yeah.
I mean, a lot of people float after they've drowned. Their dead bodies float. So if that's what you're trying to say.
We put it on right in time.
Yeah, you needed time to get cohesion, and you got that cohesion right before they fired Frank Lampard. So you're good now.
It was a bit. It was looking a little risky at one point. I won't lie, but I think we managed to put it back, and we got a goalkeeper now. So that helps.
Yeah, it's looking like it's working. And you did good in Champions League today, but we'll get into that. Martin's not going to be here for the whole podcast. So let's jump into some Premier League talk before we go to Champions League talk. Let's talk about Spurs' impressive victory over Man City this weekend. Or was it that impressive? Like, is Man City so bad that it's only making Spurs look better than they are? Like, what do you think, Martin?
No, as you remember on the last podcast, I predicted it. I said that we're going to win probably 2 or 3-0 because I believe that we match up well with this particular City.
Yes, you do.
So I kind of anticipated what Mourinho will do, and it worked. Mm-hmm. I'm a little bit more afraid of the next game against Chelsea because I think I give credit to the way Chelsea are playing right now, but also they just have a lot of dangerous players at the moment who are in form. So I'm a little bit more worried about the Chelsea game. I think I'll be happy with a draw with the Chelsea game. But in this particular game, I kind of anticipated us sitting back and using quickness to counterattack and score, and that hopefully Son will be the guy to make a difference, and he did.
Right. And I think Chelsea are not in form. They're getting in form. They're on their way to being in form. Like, I don't think all those new buys are playing their best yet. So this is a good time to catch them right before they go into fifth gear. I think they're like in third, about to go into fourth right now. But you do have a dangerous, I don't know if next week is going to be the week when, or this weekend is going to be the weekend when Chelsea puts it in fifth. And then you'd have to deal with it then. But as far as the game against Man City fits perfectly into your plans. You guys are a counterattacking team. Mourinho likes being defensive and waiting for the fast breaks. You got fast players, and you got players that can find them. And, Man City plays the same way they play every time, no matter who their personnel is. So they just played into your hands. Also, I don't understand why Pep is not playing Bernardo Silva where he played him the last 2 years that they won the league. Like today, he played this weekend he played him, but he played him on the left, but as a midfielder, where he's played him like as the right-sided forward before. I think Mahrez is a backup player. He'll never be as good as Bernardo Silva. I think when Mahrez does something great, he does something great, but there's gaps in games, or he won't do that for games. I'm not saying he's not a really good player, but he's not as consistent as a Bernardo Silva. And then you've had so much change in your team defensively and also offensively, like David Silva's not there no longer and company. I think the more you keep what you had before and then let the other new people fill in, at least let the players that know their role play their role to help stabilize the team some more.
I think everybody was focusing on their defensive problems last year, and this year it's more offensive problems. They're not scoring goals. It's like almost 70% less goals they scored in the same amount of games comparing to last year. And I mean, we talked about Gabriel Jesus before, and we like him as a player. I think he's a very good player, but I don't see the progress. I don't see him being a better player than he was 3 years ago. And when you compare with number one forward on any major team in the league, you look at Liverpool, you have Salah. You look at Tottenham, you have Kane. Like even Cavani can be that guy on Man U moving forward. And I think Gabriel Jesus, as your number one goal scorer, he just doesn't have the numbers. He needs to have numbers, and he doesn't have the numbers. And he had chances in this game, he didn't score. So, sometimes you need that guy who will make the difference up front. And we have that guy with Tottenham. Liverpool, they have that guy. I would say, who else? Leicester have that guy in Vardy. I think you potentially have that guy in Cavani. And Chelsea maybe in Werner or Abraham. But I think City missed that guy. If Aguero is not fit. If Aguero is fit, they have that guy, but he's also getting older.
What do you think about this, Neil?
I mean, I just want to start by, I saw this stat, I don't know if you guys came across it, that in the last three Premier League games between Man City and Spurs, City have had 71 shots to 10 from Spurs. 71 to 10.
Including the 22 from last weekend.
Yeah, and City have scored 2 goals, Spurs 6.
Yeah.
That's just, I've never seen something like this. So, and even before this game, one of the things I was looking at is, and Martin mentioned the fact that they're having a problem with scoring, right? Like Aguero's been injured, Jesus has had on and off games. So, and that's definitely a problem. But they've had these problems even before, because there have been times when Aguero has been injured through seasons and Jesus has had to fill in. And as Martin said, that he's not progressed, but he was still doing enough because of the sheer volume of quality chances that City create, that even if you're not finishing every single one of them, or even if you're missing like half of them, you still get enough goals to like, to be really high in the goal scoring charts. But right now, I feel even forget scoring, even creativity wise, you see all those many shots, 22 shots. Not a lot of them were like really high quality, what we are used to seeing from Man City. Like, they literally walked the ball into the net so many different, in the previous seasons. But
we lost him for a second, but it's almost as if, I'm just going to pick up from what he was saying. It's almost as if Man City values shots more than actual goals. It's like they're trying to, now I've lost Martin. Now I'm just talking to myself. Okay, Martin's back.
No, I'm here.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Oh, there you go. I can see you now too. Yeah.
I think it just disconnected my camera for a bit.
It's Martin's fault. Don't worry about it. Or your jacket is picking up a 5G signal and knocking your 4G signal off.
If I didn't know as much about 5G signals, I would have probably believed you.
Is it responsible for COVID, you think, 5G signal? No?
Absolutely not. I mean, they started saying that, but then COVID started picking up in places where they never even installed a 5G tower.
Is it responsible for City not scoring goals?
Well, it's let's say COVID was responsible, because it looks like after COVID, Man City completely dropped off a cliff in terms of scoring. Yeah, so what I was saying was basically, I think they're having issues with both creativity and scoring. And maybe you can plug the scoring thing once Aguero comes back, but they're like, unless even he can't do a lot if there's not, if you don't have that creativity that Pep sides are usually very known for. And I think it's becoming a little predictable too. They have like these set patterns of play, and they always want to score that perfect goal. And the thing with that is, if you have just you've looked at you for a while, they've gone and figured out certain holes in their teams that can plug in those gaps. They can, at this level, managers of the caliber of Jose Mourinho can pick you, figure out ways to stop you.
You're right. Like, Mourinho has been losing to Pep for a minute. So if he's any type of coach, he should have figured out how to stop it. And one more thing about your jacket. Hold your hand out like that for a second. So you have like, so you could stick your, wow, that jacket. The more I see it, the more.
There's more layers to it.
The more layers to it. And what made you get this jacket?
Well, I've been trying to I got a little bored of jerseys, to be honest.
Right.
So I was trying to buy something that I can just wear and it looks, as outerwear. And these guys have been doing a pretty good job, Nike, I think, since they've come on board. And then the moment you buy a training jacket or like one of these things, you don't have to worry about that huge ass logo, which I hate in all sports jerseys.
Right.
So I feel it's better value for money.
I think it's a dope ass top, but it's like people make fun of stuff you're wearing if it's terrible or if it's too good. You know what I mean? Like, if your jacket is too good, like really good, you can get made fun of more than if it was a shitty jacket. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if it's anything a little out of the line.
Yeah. If it's in the middle, nobody will even notice it. But if it's terrible, or on the other side, like, oh, that's a slick ass jacket. Yeah, people are gonna look at you like you're a cat burglar now. In that one. So good shit.
Yeah. But going back to the City, because you guys kind of changed the subject a little bit.
Yeah, Martin has more salt to rub on City's wounds.
Martin wants to celebrate the win more.
Go ahead,
he wants
Martin,
to talk about.
No. I celebrate the win.
Is it back to City or back to Spurs? Is like, what did you really mean to say?
I hope I'll celebrate next podcast more than this one, because this one I kind of anticipated. That Chelsea game I'm a little bit more worried about. But I'll tell you one thing about City. Guardiola, because it's very important. One thing the City have that doesn't make me that much worried about their future is that they always can buy someone. You know, like that's not a problem for them to spend money, and they will spend money as long as Guardiola wants to spend money. Now it's interesting what he said that he wants Messi to retire as a Barcelona player, and there was information in media that they stopped the pursuit of Messi, which makes me believe that they actually might get him in January. Because if you hear stuff like that from media experience, from working like on the news channels in the past, that's how usually it works. You try to say, no, we're not really interested, there's nothing going on, and then you hear that the transfer is done. So because he said that, and because there was there were the articles that they stopped pursuing Messi, and because Messi looks like 40% of himself, 30-40% of himself in the last couple of Barca games, it makes me believe that he might come even in the winter break, and that would change the picture big time. So if that happens, that will solve their problems in a lot of ways.
You really think Messi will like leave his Barcelona legacy in the middle of the season? I mean, I think he might come in the summer.
They're not going because they're not going anywhere as a team. They're not really going anywhere. If you see the results in La Liga, they're not winning the title this year. And if you see them in the Champions League, if you compare them to Bayern Munich or Liverpool or some other teams, I don't see them winning Champions League either. So
no, I get that, but I just feel like Messi has so much, like he's invested so much emotionally with Barcelona.
Did you see last games? He doesn't seem to be invested emotionally. That's the whole problem.
And like, listen, he might have stayed if Ronaldo never left and went to Juventus, another team in another league, and had some success. But now, not only when you watch him play for Barcelona, like I watch those games because I feel like this is the last time we're going to see Messi. Even before he wanted to leave, I'm like, I'm going to pay more attention to Barcelona because his career is winding down. So I just want to enjoy it as much as possible. And he's not happy. He's playing like a hostage, and he has the coach that helped him come to prominence at another team, and the other team is set up better than the team that he's at now. And it's like, fuck it, why not? This is the perfect way to go out. Plus, Mont was talking about that, was it $300 million thing from the City group where he could play some games for City and then go to NYFC. So yeah, and he could get all that money for $700 million. You've done everything that you can for Barcelona. Why not take the $700 million?
No, I'm pretty sure in the summer they are gonna at least make a move because I think you can get him for free. And why, like, you'd be mad to not pursue
take a free Messi.
Messi. But I mean, what Barcelona is like 10th in the league right now, and City is 11th. So yeah, it'll be a lateral move for him. So
maybe they'll just let him go. Maybe they will just let him go.
They have to let him go because he has that clause.
It's a new president.
Still.
Yeah.
Doesn't he still have that clause where he can leave at a certain time?
But I'm saying in the winter, that was the previous president who was stubborn not to let him go. But there is a new president right now who can let him go. Why not? It's a different setup. It's not Bartomeu anymore. Bartomeu was stubborn to not let him go, but the new guy might decide, listen, that's the best for Barcelona to part ways because we're not going anywhere. He's not fully invested. We have a bunch of injuries. I think Gerard Piqué had like horrendous injury and he's not going to play for the rest of the season. And they're not good offensively. They have some young talent, but that's about it. And it's a perfect time to do the rebuild. It's a perfect time to do the rebuild. You let him go in the middle of the season. Maybe you buy someone, maybe you don't buy someone. Maybe you just let the young kids play like the American guy on the wing. Or Ansu Fati, those guys, So Dest, Ansu Fati, Dest, those guys. Dembele, you let them play and throughout, the rest of the season. And then you get someone big like Salah or, I don't know.
Do they have the money? Star. They don't have any money. And I think
they always find money in Barcelona. They always find money to buy someone.
Yeah, they
can sell Griezmann. They can do a bunch of stuff.
All right. Barcelona won today, by the way, in Champions League without Messi. And there are two Americans, Dest, the one that you mentioned, and another one played for them today. But we'll get into that. Chelsea how you feel about their victory this
Which one?
weekend? Well,
Okay.
let's talk about this weekend versus Newcastle. He said,
Yeah.
which one, cocky? Because I
uh,
don't know if
it's
that jacket is making you cocky or these results.
no,
Are you
it's
cocky?
it's been a while. You know, that I actually have. I don't think we're at a we are a league winning team yet, but this is a team where I can look at 11 players and feel confident in them, and I haven't been able to say that. I think for 10 years at Chelsea, we've always had some band-aids here and there, but I think after a very long time, I actually feel confident in 11, maybe like 13, 14 players at Chelsea right now. So yeah, so Newcastle it wasn't the easiest game because we had um, like if you compare to our previous few games against Burnley and Sheffield United, so it took us a while. Like we got a very early goal, but yeah, the second goal took a long time coming, and we missed a lot of chances. Like Werner missed two,
He
and
missed a
this is
lot.
becoming Werner missed two good chances and a third maybe chance, and he missed again two very good chances this game. So it's getting a
But it's
little
interesting, Neil. It's
yeah
interesting though that they moved him to the wing instead
yeah.
of playing him as a center forward, and then you have this player
Tammy,
when you score a second goal when he just shows his pace
yeah
and gives it to
yeah.
Abraham to finish. So and you start thinking, is Lampard a genius for making that switch, or
Mm.
still you think that Werner should be the center forward guy?
Well, I think the thing is, I don't think Lampard's a genius because this is not something uncommon. If you look at Werner's record at Leipzig, he used to always play off of somebody like Poulsen, I think is his name.
Pulisic.
Not Pulisic. I think the tall guy.
Oh, the tall
Let
guy.
me see.
Yeah, I forgot his
Yeah,
name.
I love like Poulsen, I guess, but yeah, I might be getting
Paul
his name wrong.
Paulson, Christian Paulson. Yeah.
Poulsen, yeah. So, but they would not play a 4-3. They would play a 4-4-2. So they were clearly marked as two strikers up front. But he would play on the left of that last guy. So at Chelsea, what we are doing. So the reason why Werner had to play was there was a game against Burnley when Werner was being rested. It was not supposed to be two up top with Tammy and Werner. It was supposed to be Pulisic on the left, Tammy Abraham in center, and Ziyech on the right. But in the warm-up, Pulisic got injured. And that's where Werner came in and he and they played great that game. Dynamic where uh, he has somebody else who can hold up play and lay things off him. And Tammy's game has changed a lot since last season. Like he's playing more because he has Werner, and so he doesn't need to go front all the time. So he's kind of like within games, there have been patches where he's almost playing as a false nine. So that combination worked really well versus Burnley. Played it again midweek in the Champions League, worked well, and played it against Sheffield. It's working well. So it's been working really well. So we'll know for sure once Christian Pulisic comes back. Callum Hudson-Odoi has been playing great in the chances that he's getting. Although I don't think Lampard trusts him
Kind of lost him again.
yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, at some point, very soon enough, because I think back in training, at some point, Lampard. Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we can hear you. Yeah. But now we can't. I feel like, Chelsea has good players. They have.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, barely. Could barely hear you. I feel like Chelsea has good players. I just don't know how many great players they have. But they have a squad where they can interchange players. Some on the bench, some come off the bench, some start. I think as far as like effectiveness, it's great when you have two players on your team and their qualities are desire and quality. and those players are right now Ziyech. Like when he plays with desire, and Pulisic when he plays with desire and quality too. So it'd be crazy to see Ziyech and Pulisic like on the field together. Two guys that are like, to me, they're like not as much, or maybe as like Chelsea has like two Bruno Fernandes type players on their team. Like Manchester United win games with just one. You guys got, excuse me, two.
I think also the next game will be
I feel like
a test for guys like Ziyech, because we have outstanding players on both ends, right and left end. We have Reguilon with Son on the left, so you have two guys you have to worry about. And then on the right, we can attack. If we have Aurier, we can attack with Aurier, and we can attack with Bale or Mora or Bergwijn. So now you have those guys like Ziyech, Chilwell, James. They will have to be more careful going forward, because we can catch you guys. If they do that, if Ziyech won't be able to control the game the way he controlled games against weaker teams, because he'll have to work on defense. If he just goes forward, then we'll catch you every single time with Son and Reguilon on this side. So that will be a test for him too, because as you mentioned, you didn't beat a top team yet. You're beating those teams you're supposed to beat. This is a big test for you guys as well, and mainly on the defensive end of things, because you have to contain Son, you have to contain, we attack through our wings. Our wings is our strength, and those wings will give your side guys trouble.
I don't know if you can hear him, Neil, but you are tasked with knocking Tottenham and Martin's happiness, off his face. Martin, I got one question. So,
yeah,
why the substitution of Ndombele? Like, he's doing good. I know there's no beef now. Mourinho believes in him, but not for like a full game. He'll let him play like half the game or a little bit more, and then he, luckily the sub that he put in scored a goal. But like, why not play Ndombele all the way?
I think it's still a fitness thing, so otherwise it's hard to explain. But at the same time, Lo Celso is a really good player. So if you sub him for Lo Celso, that makes sense. If you would sub him for Winks, who is not even on the bench right now, and he would most likely be loaned out. I like the adjustment he did. Listen, he's not playing Sanchez, he's not playing Winks anymore. And those two adjustments changed the whole team. The way it's set up right now, it's perfect. And I would have to admit that Dyer was outstanding in this game too. He really, I'm not his fan, but in this particular game, he played very well. And since he started playing together with Alderweireld, it works. I like them together. It actually works.
Do you think that's going to be the centre-back pairing that you will see for the majority of the season?
It's a huge difference. That would be very strange if they change that. It makes huge difference.
How old is Alderweireld?
30, 31.
31. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that pairing is not going to last too long.
Well,
they can play 2 years like that.
Yeah. So I think it'll be interesting to see how Chelsea decides to set up, because in the past, in this season, we've played Sevilla and Manchester United, who are also counter-attacking teams, and we've decided to be counter-attacking ourselves. So essentially, deny your opponent their strength. So you want to play without the ball? Here, have the ball. Let's see what you can do. So, but that was at a time, I think, when we were not that sure about ourselves, especially our defense. I think a few more, we've clicked the gear a little bit more, and I think we have a settled team right now, a settled defense. So whether we actually play this attacking 4-3-3 that we've been playing in the last 6 or 7 games, this is the first time that'll be tested. So I can't sit here and tell you that this is how I feel we'll play, because we just haven't seen anything, something like that.
Right.
I would say this just to finish it off. You guys, like we historically in the last couple of years, we're good against City. We're not very good against Chelsea. But there was one particular player that caused all the damage that was hurting us in every single game. And this player is now gone. That was Willian. So I'm a little bit more optimistic.
Hilarious.
Well,
Hilarious.
if Willian bothered you, then I think we should do it.
Well, the proof is in the pudding. He was scoring goals every game against us.
Willian and Marcos Alonso were always good against Spurs, and but yeah, neither can find. I mean, Willian's gone, and Alonso can't get anywhere near the 11 right now.
Yeah, so, as he shouldn't.
Yeah. So yeah, but I'm really confident. Like if Havertz can actually, if he's back, because he played a few minutes today after being out for 2 weeks with COVID. If he can actually start, and that Mount and Havertz pairing is looking really nice in midfield, and Kante, I feel like he's back to his best. And,
what about Pulisic? What's his situation?
Pulisic, I think, started training, and typically we've seen like Lampard never throws a player straight in to start a game. So
okay, good, because I'm worried about him. He's a problem. Yeah.
Yeah, if he plays, he might come on in the second half, but I don't see him starting unless there's some injuries that happen.
Perfect. No Willian, no Pulisic. I'm feeling much better.
Hilarious. How did you feel about your Champions League results today, Neil?
I thought today was like, after a long time, our defense actually got stress tested, and I felt really bad we conceded that goal in the end, because I felt that Edouard Mendy performance deserved a clean sheet. But right in the 85th minute we conceded a goal. It was actually like the 12th corner we had conceded. We took care of 11 of them, but the last one,
one corner too many. It's a lot to ask your defense.
It's a lot, yeah. So, but I think we again, like as I mentioned, Werner, he missed a few over the weekend, and he missed one right at the beginning, which was like, you'll never find an easier chance than that. It was a cross from Callum Hudson-Odoi, right in front of goal, 3 yards out, and he never even tested the keeper. He shot it above the bar. So, and there was another chance, half chance, but he got that goal pretty quickly. Great piece of work by Mason Mount in the number 8 position. First with he's defending actually. He made a tackle, got the ball, and then perfect, cross field, long pass to Callum. It kind of felt like something I'd seen in the academy game in the last 4 or 5 years, because they both have played a lot in the academy together. And Callum, the thing with Callum Hudson-Odoi is I don't think Lampard trusts him, not because of what he can do on the ball, because we all know the skill set he has, and he can go score goals, get the assists, but he is not at the level of what you'd expect from a Premier League winner, off the ball.
Who, Havertz?
Callum Hudson-Odoi.
Yeah, so, like you used to rave about him, and I'm like, today he scored a good goal in Champions League.
Yeah.
And his development is going to be held back even more, because there's so many players or options that Lampard has now.
Yeah.
So I wonder what he's going to end up really being.
But like games like today, and even he's been getting some minutes off the bench. He's doing a lot of the things that were actually question marks of him, off the ball, doing defensive work. So I feel like games like today will actually give Lampard more confidence to use him. Because Lampard's mentioned a lot of times, like, we know what he can do on the ball. That's not really a worry. But the worry really is similar to a worry that Lampard had with Pulisic last season, where he held him back before he actually got up to the pace of playing, tracking fullbacks, doing those kinds of things. You can't really be a liability on the wing in the way Chelsea wants to play right now. So.
And what is the way Chelsea wants to play? So I can call Solskjaer and tell him.
I think it is a 4-3-3, where it's kind of like a combination of both how City used to play with De Bruyne and David Silva, and how Liverpool play with their fullbacks overlapping with the wingers. Like both our fullbacks right now, Chilwell and Reece James, have significant a creative, like a goal threat. So it's essentially, it becomes 6 people in defense and 7 people in offense. So we're kind of getting 2 players extra because they can do both sides of the game, and like both the.
You said 6 people in defense and 7 people on offense.
Yeah.
How many players you want to play?
Well, that's the beauty of the system, because like when we switch to offense, our fullbacks are attackers, and when we switch to defense, both the attacking eights are providing are doing defensive work too. So it's a little bit of a cheat code thing, which I am sure will go through a trial period. Games like Tottenham will, it'll take us a while to get it. But I think when we get it absolutely oiled out, it's gonna be beautiful.
I have to go, so I'll just say the last thing. Looking forward to the game. I think the draw will be the result I will take, although of course the win is possible.
Come on, Chelsea.
To be fair, even I'll take a draw actually.
But it's just historically we didn't have good results against Chelsea in the last couple of years. So it will be good to change that. And because some personnel is not there who was hurting us, I have some hopes. And because you are playing attacking fullbacks, it gives me hope as well. Because as I said, we are very strong on the sides. If your guys are not back to defense, that's it. That's a wrap.
But
so you will have to play a little bit more defensively in this.
No, but that's the difference between having somebody like Alonso versus Chilwell. Like, because these guys, even though they're doing their attacking work, they're doing great even defensively. So they don't completely vacate the space, and I know you're not convinced about Chilwell, but Chilwell,
he's offensively he's very good, but
even defensively, he's not put a foot wrong except before today. Today actually was an average game by Chilwell, and this is the first.
Did he do that in the Champions League? Did he make that bad back pass?
Yeah,
that Thiago Silva had to clean up?
Yeah, it was him, and he made a few other mistakes too. But really, like in all the games that I've seen, this is the first time I could be like, dude, what are you doing? And
he's just paying Thiago Silva back for the mistake Thiago Silva made in a game.
Yeah. Now listen, Thiago is good, but he'll have hands full against Kane. I'll tell you that. He'll have.
Yeah, that's true. And I think Kane's son, like the fact that Kane has been revolutionized as this. I don't even know. Is it a false 10? Is it a false 9? It's everything at this point.
It ain't false because everybody knows about it. He ain't fooling nobody. Like he's
by now.
You know how you just described the Chelsea players playing defense and offense? He's playing both. He's playing, and it's it's false is the term, but and he's a really good passer.
Right.
His passing is almost as on target as his shots. But we'll see. Like I think.
Assists.
Yeah, 9 assists. Yeah, it's a lot. That's a lot. He's David Silva. All right. Peace, Martin. So I hope your internet doesn't go out anymore because Martin's gone. So leave me here talking to myself. So 5G jacket, get to work. Perk that signal up. Is there anything else you want to say about the Chelsea?
No, just, I think there's been a lot of talk. It's coming up right now. And it's just so reactionary, I feel, because a month earlier, a lot of analysts and even fans, to be honest, were on the whole Lampard out train. And now people are saying, Chelsea in a title race. I am somewhere in the middle where I feel like we could still get like my target at the beginning of the season was 80 plus points, and I feel we can still do that. I think we're in course to do that, but I just feel like this team has not got that. Like, except for Thiago Silva and Conte in the main 11, don't really have because when you go to the last 2-3 months of the league, you need this. It goes beyond just skill set as a footballer at that point. You need to know the tempo of certain games. You need to know how to run the tempo of certain games. It's not every game is not going to start on the same thing. But now suddenly, when you are in that critical position to make a pass or take a shot or make that clearance out, you could be thinking about what this means for the title race, because you're maybe 3 points behind or 3 points ahead. So that sort of pressure, and especially with, it looks like fans are going to be back in the stadium by then. So I don't think this team has that experience to last those grueling last few months. But hey, to me, that wasn't the target anyways before. So if you can do that, it'd be a bonus. But I still expect the top two of last season to be in charge of that race, and maybe us and Spurs can throw a spring of surprise.
I think you're definitely in the top four with that squad.
Yeah,
and you might be better than Spurs. Liverpool is showing that they're resilient, and that they can make things happen no matter how many injuries they got. Like Liverpool did a great job of just stockpiling players. And some of them you forgot that they had because they stopped using them, and then injuries happen, and then they're like, oh, we got this guy, and also we got kids that can play. So
there was so much talk about Liverpool's injuries, and they have been having a rough time with injuries and stuff. But then the team sheets come up, and you look at Leicester and you look at Liverpool, and you're like, wait, what? There's no comparison.
Right, exactly.
This is essentially just a body team.
We got a Milner. Oh, you forgot they had a Milner. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they got a Matip. I forgot about that Matip they had. And then they got
who's injury free only for 4 or 5 games a season, but he's there now. He's still a good player.
Yeah, he's still a good player, solid. And then they got midfield for days, and they have multiple attacking options. Multiple.
Yeah, like Jota, who's been, I think, one of the best signings of the season so far. And he's pretty much scoring every game. And
to the point, I just thought about Liverpool. I'm like, they got Jota, even though they bought Minamino a season before. And then so they're like, no, we want to make sure we can score just in case one of our guys are out. Like Minamino's coming along, but we're not going to wait. And it said Jota's available, we get a Jota. So now they're completely covered. Like, how are you going to stop that? And it's like, wow, just what planning, And this guy, it makes me think about William Zaha. Like, if he left Crystal Palace, how many more goals would he be scoring for someone else? Like, I don't want him as a Man U player, but if he went on another top team and he could assimilate and
definitely
have the right attitude, he could get you some goals.
He made that mistake, right? He signed that new contract for, I don't know why. And now
because the price
leave.
that they were trying to sell him for was ridiculous.
So he should have just played out his contract. He got lured by, signing a new contract. And now he's stuck and trapped for another, he's going to lose his entire prime.
No, I know.
He comes out of it.
Is he trapped, or is he kind of like, I kind of like it here? I think he kind of likes it there.
No, because
small pond.
I'm sure. Yeah, that's true, but I think that gets boring after a while.
I don't think he's bored.
Unless you're like Jamie Vardy.
Right. I think he's a Vardy who will never win a ring. You know what I mean? I think he likes it there, because you don't hear, for a guy that should have been sold 3 seasons ago, you don't hear, as you've heard some in the beginning when the media thought he should have moved, but you don't hear
not anymore.
Those tantrums that other players play when they want to move on. He's not doing any of the things players do when they want to move on,
Well, also clubs have kind of because they tried getting him from Crystal Palace. I think Chelsea made inquiries back in the day. Arsenal tried. I think United must have. But they keep saying ridiculous things like 70, 80 million. And clubs are now you know what? We'll just go to Germany and get somebody,
Yeah, you got to get you have to be an international scoring sensation to get the money.
Yeah.
To get the money that Crystal Palace wants for Zaha. That's like, get out of here, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And but somebody like him, who's gonna be the next big transfer target, right, for everybody is going to be Jack Grealish. And he's actually putting out performances week in, week out, which a lot of clubs will be interested in. And I know Marcin was referring to Man City going for Messi in January. I don't think that's going to happen, but I won't be surprised if they go for somebody like Jack Grealish, though.
Well, so he's going to play on the left. Where does Foden play? Because I feel like
plays in midfield.
Right. I feel like, and then you got De Bruyne. And that's another thing about that Man City game. De Bruyne played on the right. And I'm like, isn't he like left-sided?
On the left, yeah.
So it was just weird the way Pep set this thing up. Was this like trying to trick people and then everybody switched? It was just weird. Like you got Bruno's, I'm saying it wrong. Silva on the left, playing in the De Bruyne position, and De Bruyne on the right, playing in the Bernardo Silva position. It's like, it doesn't make sense.
I don't even think there's a natural position for Grealish to play in Guardiola's team right now, because he either plays as a left winger, which he can't, because like Raheem Sterling is the first choice left winger at City, or he plays as a conventional number 10, which again, City doesn't play with a conventional number 10. They play with like two midfielders up front, right? They don't play with just one and two behind. So, but the thing with Guardiola is he's still like stockpiling these players. Yeah. So he may still buy him and then try to do something weird with him, and it won't work. But he'll still die at trying. So I wouldn't be surprised if like City want to get somebody like Grealish. At which point, I think even you guys will want to try and get it, because like if he's on the market, everybody will try and get him.
He doesn't fit with us. We have enough. Like
you have actually left wingers. That's
we have left wingers. So like I always wanted him before, but the more I thought about it, I was like, we don't need him. We need a right side guy. And even though we still have right side people, because we have Greenwood, and and then I can't say that Welsh kid is our answer, but
Dan James.
Yeah, he still might play, a role for us in the future. So, but we don't need a Grealish.
Well, maybe if you guys are ready to give up on Paul Pogba, then maybe play Grealish a little ahead
in the middle,
and then.
But that's the same problem we'll have.
Give Bruno the position that Pogba always wanted to play in, and then maybe that could work.
You give Bruno the position that Pogba always wanted to play in, and what's
like that box to box. I know that's not where Bruno plays right now, but that box to box player, because I feel Bruno is good with the ball. Like he can make runs. So, but again, that's only if that's a huge call for a manager to make to pull the trigger on Paul Pogba.
Well, I want to I had made up this speech in my head about Chelsea, and as far as them being like title contenders, and I said some of it, like you guys have a lot of players, interchangeable parts, and you have depth, and in order for you guys to win the title, or any team to win the title, you have to have the players who, when it becomes a game of margins, that give you an advantage in the game of margins, because this is what the league is going to come down to. So, so we'll see what happens. Like there's some of the things that you said earlier that takes the steam out of what I was thinking, but it also confirmed, what I was thinking. So,
but that's kind of what happened today, because this Chelsea team last season, if somebody's equalized in the 86th minute, there's no way we're coming out to the win there. But now we can actually get Judo on, and you have like Ziyech provided a free kick, which Chilwell could have scored just a minute before that goal, and then he provided the pass to Werner. Werner's shot, and that was blocked. But then Judo made a great header on the follow-up.
So I like desperate Giroud. I like that. Desperate Giroud is like, man, if I don't do something in the 3.10 seconds that they give me to play, I'll never get on this pitch again. So today, in that scenario, when that ball went up in the air, like the goalkeeper's like, this is mine. Nobody's going to challenge for this. And Giroud is like, man,
like,
I got to eat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If I don't do something, I was like, he's jumping for a ball with his head that a goalkeeper who's tall is going to reach with his hands. And he gets that header in. And it's like, Giroud, no matter what you do, it's going to be Groundhog's Day. You're still going to be on the bench, no matter how many goals you score, and they're going to call you in at times like this at the end of the game. I also think Frank made some bad substitutions that made that team equalize against you guys. And you guys, the way you played the last 10 minutes of the game, like got defensive ahead of schedule. Like there was a time when you guys, Mount had the ball, dribbled down, then turned around, passed the ball back. It's like, we're going to try to kill this game. But you didn't commit to it. You know what I mean? You didn't commit to it by the substitutions. It's like, these are attacking substitutions. So how are you trying to kill a game and you turn it around in the middle of an attack? So it's like,
well, if
there's
a
miscommunication between the substitutions and what style of play you wanted to play at the end of that game.
No, I mean, he did get Kante on, and he did get Giroud on, which I think Giroud is...
when did Giroud come on? Before the goal or after?
Before the goal.
All right.
I don't think we made any substitutions after the 85th minute. We didn't make a substitution in...
after the equalizer, I'm talking about.
No, the equalizer. No, I don't think so, because
Ziyech came on before the equalizer?
Yeah. Before.
But Ziyech is attacking.
Yeah, Ziyech is attacking, but he was coming on for Hudson-Odoi. He was coming, so it was a like for like. So,
but you have more defensive people on the bench. It's like, that's what I'm saying. It's like you're gonna like.
No, I mean, I think the idea was like you do a like for like, but you get the more experienced player in, so he knows he's better at holding on to the ball.
Ziyech's experience in the Champions League is getting eliminated. He has more games.
No, but he's 27 as opposed to Hudson-Odoi being 19, right? So he knows the tempo of a game, and ultimately, like the fact that Ziyech is on the pitch was it kind of made the difference, because you knew even though you have just 5 minutes, it only takes this for some of these players to make a difference. And I think this is good to say that we can, like, we've been winning comfortably for a while now. We had to like kind of win desperately today, and especially the fact that
you won Giroud style.
Yeah, and Giroud, another bench player scoring, a reserve player scoring a goal. Hudson-Odoi, a reserve player scoring a goal. Like Tammy Abraham, who lost his spot in the team at the beginning of the season, he's now he's scoring or assisting every game. He's kind of making himself undroppable right now. So it's good to see people from the squad. Also,
the competitive situation that is created is actually working. So I got to move on from Chelsea, or we're going to run out of time for the rest of the thing, because we only got we spent half the show on Chelsea, and let's wait till Chelsea's completely got their shit together before we spend that much of the show on them. I want to get to my team, Manchester United versus West Brom. And listen, some things happen in this game. I don't like what pisses me off the most about Solskjaer?
Yeah.
His lineups, not the formation. It's who he picks to start a game. It's like, we won a game 1-0. Listen, you need to win this game, bro, or you're fired. Why are you playing Mata? Mata is someone you bring on at the end of a game. You know what I mean? Not to start the game. He didn't do much. He's slower than everybody else. He's got experience. I like Mata, but he's not in his prime. Why is Cavani on the bench? Are you going to tell me, if you take a survey, a world survey, and you say, who do you think is better, Cavani or Mata? Even Mata ain't going to vote for Mata. You know what I mean? So it's let's go on this field and get these goals. The team is going to be tough to break down. In any one of these games, a team can get lucky, which West Brom did, but then we got lucky and they overturned a penalty. It's like, come on, bro. Only put the most effective people on the field, which is like today was the one. Today, when he put the lineup out today for the Champions League game, I said, we're winning this. Like, that's a lineup I want to see. Like, so, but this is like, come on.
So what's like, in terms of the lineup, what do you think should be the go-to midfield three, that you'd like to see?
I like that we have options, right?
Yeah.
I like that we have options. And I don't know, like, we have options where we can play 3 forwards, right? We have options where we can play 2 holding and then the 3 guys behind Marshall or whoever the forward is. You know, we can play 3 at the back. We could play 5 at the back. And I like that all that stuff is available and we keep other people guessing, but it's the personnel you use in those formations. And Mata should be coming off the bench.
Yeah.
Like we have enough people that you don't have to play Mata. Like, make the buys that we bought people. We have Van de Beek, we have Cavani, we have Greenwood. It's like let's not start a guy who everybody's gonna when everything is even. And I know Mata. I have a feeling I know what Solskjaer was thinking. Like, Mata did not go away for international week. He did not play 3 games. He's fresh.
Yeah.
But play Greenwood then. Because the more you don't play Greenwood, the more people thinks he raped that girl. You feel me? Like, let's play him and kill all that speculation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
but I think I think what he did today, playing, I don't think Manchester United, with the kind of strength you guys have in midfield, should ever start a game without at least 2 of Fernandes, Van de Beek, and Pogba starting.
Exactly.
But he's done that a lot, because I feel that's even when you go to 3 at the back, when you go to 3 at the back and you play like a 3-4-3, then you can only play 2 midfielders.
Right.
Which means you can only play 1 out of Fernandes, Pogba, and Van de Beek, which is like completely negating your best strength.
Yeah.
What
I feel like is you're 100% right. Get Pogba in there, rotate between those 3. It's great to have 3 guys that we never had before who can attack and break down defenses. We should attack people. We should break them down. We should get the goals early, like we did towards when Project Restart started. We started our starters, got the goals, and then rested people.
Yeah.
Instead of being cautious and then making everybody have to play more time than they necessarily would have to play. So if you're looking long term, start your best people. Get the goals. Get the goals and then rest the players. And
why do you need both Fred and Matic against West Brom? Like, that just shows that you either don't trust your defense.
No,
that means you don't.
I got news for you. We don't trust our defense. Nobody's going to pretend to ever trust that defense. The best results that we've gotten so far, as far as like having clean sheets or just like 1 goal scored against us, is when there's 2 people in front of those guys. That is the solution. But it still has to be one of those 3 guys. You feel me?
Yeah.
It's like, if you play, it still has to be one of those 3 guys. And then, like, somebody was saying this, and I agree. He's in the position where we've been inconsistent, and if you lose to West Brom, he gets fired. And the first way to lose to West Brom is for West Brom to get a goal, because they're going to be hard to break down. So he went defensive, even though it almost backfired on him. So he's trying to secure the clean sheet before anything. But now that this is like 3 games in a row we won, that's a semblance of some consistency.
That's true. You won against Everton too. So
so we beat Everton, West Brom, and we beat this team that we should have beaten. And it's his fault that we lost to this team in the first leg of that Champions League game before the international break. It's his fault because he didn't play his players. So now he's in a hole where I got to make sure nobody scores on us, and So I can't play Donny.
Where do you stand? Where do you stand on the whole Ole Gunnar Solskjaer thing?
I'll tell you at the end of the season.
Yeah. So you're like, let's wait. Let's not do anything hasty right now.
No. Yeah. It's just like I'm never a rush guy. When I'm looking at Lampard over there, I'm like, and people are calling for his head. I'm like, do you people not know you need a thing? There's a thing called cohesion, and the guys are all new and haven't played together enough, and you have to be patient. And the same thing with us. And then I knew everybody was mad at Ed Woodward at the beginning of the season, but I knew after, when the season started, everybody would forget why they were mad at Ed Woodward and just blame Solskjaer.
Just seeing games, yeah.
So it's like, hey guys, Solskjaer is not successful because Woodward didn't support him, and you know that. But now you're mad at Solskjaer. So it's like, just let this play out.
But what if a situation arises where Mauricio Pochettino, for example, is available now, but now it may not be at the end of the season?
There's other coaches. There's an Italian coach. I think there's an Italian coach I'd rather, or I like, to be honest, Brendan Rodgers more.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like Brendan Rodgers more. He's doing way more with less than Pochettino ever did.
Yeah, but I just don't think United fans, and that's one of the problems with, is that
he cut off. I don't know what Neil was going to ask me, but when he comes back, he'll ask me. Good.
Yeah, you know?
Yeah, I see you.
Yeah, so
that jacket is really fucking up our connection, bro.
No, so I think one of the problems with that fan base is like, United, Chelsea, Liverpool will be now going forward, would be that we are so used to having managers that have a good resume that if we move to somebody like a Brendan Rodgers, unless he is like, if you want to get Brendan Rodgers, you have to get Brendan Rodgers when he's in the middle of the season. Because by the end of the season, he'll make a few mistakes, and then United fans are going to be, no to Rodgers. Mm-hmm. So, and especially because somebody like Mauricio Pochettino, even I don't rate him that highly, but most people do rate him. So, and right now, if you look at available managers, he's the one who's out there, and he and Allegri, which I think a lot of
that's the Italian guy.
Allegri, yeah.
I prefer him.
Yeah. He's good too, but again, with manager like Allegri, the problem will be that he will set you guys up defensively, and so you don't want to be in a situation where 10 months down the line, the same thing that happened with Mourinho, fans start complaining about, oh, this is not the Manchester United way. We're not playing games on the front foot. We should be. But so that's going to be a little bit of a risk, I think, with the board that's already been bitten once with Mourinho.
I also think, how you asked me the question about the two midfielders in front of the defense. How come nobody complains about Liverpool's three defensive midfielders in front of their defense? Yeah. Those are three defensive midfielders who also work hard to attack, but they're mainly they are half their job.
They don't have a creative threat.
They are creative on the low. They are more creative than we give them credit for. As a matter of fact, I would go as far as to say the way Liverpool play, the way those forwards defend, you have 6 players in front of your defense.
Yeah.
Because a lot of those forwards stop attacks from ever even starting out of the half that they're attacking in, because they shut it down. So it's like, that's 6 guys. So it's like, why are Man United fans tripping about 2 guys in front of their defense?
No, I think one difference is, and of course this comes with time, like with the team playing together a lot more, is that it's like the Liverpool system that we've seen all these years. It's been very clear that the creativity is gonna come with fullbacks. So you kind of take that job away from the midfield completely, and you can do that if you have fullbacks like Robertson and Trent. Most of the teams, it's slightly difficult, and I think even Klopp somehow at the back of his mind realizes that it's not sustainable. So, which is why he's made signings like Thiago, who has a creative threat in midfield, even though he plays deeper. And I think you're seeing him use Naby Keita a lot more, who has a little bit more of a goal threat. And I'm sure when in that utopian world, if Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain was ever fit, he would have used him a lot more too in that midfield. But
another player that Liverpool just has chilling on an injury table and not take your time.
Yeah, he's doing like YouTube videos introducing the new training center, and that's been as productive he's been all season. So,
it's hilarious. But as far as the lineup we use today in Champions League, I rate that lineup that Solskjaer used. I was happy to see, goddamn Fred and Van der Beek next to him, and Cavani included, no Mata and Bruno, and and at least he had Greenwood on the bench. So and we won. We blew him out 4-1.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, that was great to see that. Liverpool, we talked about that. We brushed on it. They just handled Leicester, and Leicester was basically at the top of the table, and Liverpool was like, yeah, bro, we got injuries, and if you rely on those injuries, we got players and we got backups, and Liverpool played like they just won the league. So.
They play like champions, and
play like champions.
It's, they have had injuries, but you still look at that team and you're like, well, where's the weakness? Maybe Curtis Jones, because we haven't seen him enough.
But he played good.
But that's just still one or two players. Maybe Milner is not as creative as Trent, but Milner is not as creative as Trent. That's true, but he's still gonna do that primary role of a right back.
Right.
He's gonna do that well. So as long as you have that, you're not at least cutting off a limb.
He's in Ronaldo shape, and just like Ronaldo, he does his job. Ronaldo's job is to score. His job is all right, I'm gonna defend.
Yeah, and maybe there's a case to be made that he's better defensively than Trent.
All right.
Maybe at least make that case. And but everybody else, they didn't have Salah, but they have Jota, who's been amazing for them. And it's going to be actually interesting to see what Klopp does now when Salah comes back, because
put him in.
Firmino has to either drop, because you can't drop Jota now.
Firmino scored, so Firmino, you can be like, you can't drop me.
Yeah, so either one of them will have to play as a number 10 in midfield. And I think that's how they played. They played versus City with that formation where it didn't work though. It didn't work. Yeah. But it did work in the first 20-25 minutes. They looked really sharp. But yeah, it didn't work for the entire game. Yeah. But they might have to go that route, because and then suddenly you're seeing creativity in midfield from Liverpool. So touch back on the previous thing that we were talking about. So they have so many options, and they have a team that knows how to win. They know how to grind out results. They know exactly how to play in the way their manager wants them to play. So, I mean, they're still the team to beat in this league.
I want to go back to there's something important that I don't want to overlook that's just happening in the Premiership period. So I want to go back to the Man U West Brom game, and I'm glad I remembered to cover this. And I want to talk about the penalty situations. And so West Brom gets a penalty.
Yeah.
And Man United gets
Conor
it overturned.
Gallagher Conor Gallagher.
And
Chelsea
then
wonder kid.
And then, maybe I should save this conversation when we talk about the Villa game, because Villa got a penalty and it got overturned. And in both cases, I think the referee got it right. Here's my new mantra. Contact is not a penalty. A foul is a penalty. There's a difference between contact and a foul. Even in the case of Martial in the same West Brom game, contact is not a penalty. Just because somebody touches you or grabs your shirt a little bit, that does not mean it's a foul. Just because you go down like it's a foul, it doesn't mean it's a foul. And I think referees need to do what he did in the Villa game, what they did in the Villa game and the Man U West Brom game more. Be like, nah, I blew the whistle, but this guy embellished. And if it was a real foul, you don't have to embellish if it's a real foul. And
no, but I mean, there was still like my point with contact. This was contact like on the shins, and
it that tapped it, but it wasn't like. Listen, me and you could have skipped over that. We wouldn't have went down. Yeah, you touched my shin. Every time somebody touches somebody's shin, unless you're on mushrooms and your body feels even more than it normally feels when it's in a normal state, should you go down?
No, so but I'm not even saying
if you took mushrooms during the game,
yeah.
and that's illegal.
No, but I think right now with VAR, it should not even be a case of whether you went down or not. You need not have to go. I'm actually saying the opposite, that a foul should be a foul based on the merit of the foul, not whether somebody has gone down or not. I think people go down because referees stopped giving fouls unless people went down.
No, so the referees don't give a foul, right? If you go down, right? But they can also tell sometimes. It's rare when somebody everybody, any contact, they're just going down. So it's like, fuck it. I like what the referees did in this game.
I think like a kick to the leg, at least, because, that's the biggest part. Like, I understand something like the shoulder or, even like the upper torso and stuff. But when it's the leg, I feel like I actually personally thought that the ref got that wrong. And even after looking all those angles, I'm not sure, like, how you can not give that a penalty.
I feel the opposite, especially with the Martial one. It's like, hey, Martial, that guy tugged your back, but he was behind you. You had a chance to shoot, and you did not shoot. You went down, and like you gave away a scoring opportunity. We could have been up 1 or 2 at that point. I can't remember what the score was. It's like and Martial does that shit a lot, like looking for it. It's like when you have the shot, take the shot, bro. Yeah, so we differ, but
another thing with the whole VAR thing is because it's just so inconsistent. Like what you're talking about, Martial, right? Like if you're a Premier League player at this point, you should still be able to take that shot, knowing that in case you missed it and it is not a goal, that VAR will do its job if it is actually a significant enough thing. But the problem is, we're seeing so many inconsistencies in
it wasn't significant enough though.
Yeah, but like you'll see the same thing given in another game. So how do you even know?
But but that's not what you just said. And if Martial had taken the shot, and if Martial had taken the shot and it didn't score, right? It did not warrant a call. And to be honest, if he'd taken a shot and it didn't score, the ref might have did something and gave him the penalty that he wanted. But it's just
that's what I'm saying. Like that's upon VAR. Like you remember, like the United Chelsea game, Maguire had his arms all
around.
That should have been a penalty, and VAR came out with the statement saying that it was missed by VAR because VAR didn't check it for more than one replay, because the game quickly moved.
Which I'm glad.
Yeah, but the game quickly moved. So what I'm saying is, we make this assumption that it's fine, VAR is going to take care of it.
I'm not making the assumption. I'm not making the assumption, but I don't want you to go down and try to buy it. I don't like And you need to start if you look at the thing and take the whistle back, card these motherfuckers, card them, so that they stop acting.
Yeah.
You know, it's ruining the game. We can talk about Aston Villa getting beat by Brighton again. Your boy Lamptey, one of the best players in the game.
I don't understand how you got that red though. Like the second foul.
Yeah, the second foul seemed like it's just. What do they use?
Normal.
What's the term?
Like,
when two people just like collide with each other.
It's not really tangling of legs, but it was.
It's not a foul. How about that?
It wasn't a foul. So, and that's really harsh on Brighton because you'd hope that with 3 points they can go on a little bit of a run. Although I think the next game is Liverpool, but now they don't have their best player.
Now he didn't get a straight red, so I forgot what the rule is.
It's just one game.
One game. All right.
Yeah.
They weren't going to win that game anyway.
Yeah. So maybe it's a game too.
He just gets the rest. Yeah.
Yeah. But I think they played well, and again, no Ross Barkley, no party for Aston Villa. So, but yeah, I think with Villa, you have to we all kind of knew, right? It is going to be, regardless of what they did in those games, you knew it wasn't going to be that they're going to go on this huge run, which actually led them to be top 4 title contenders.
Mm-hmm. They had their run. That was it.
Yeah.
And now it's going to be back 2 steps forward, 2 steps back, but they're going to be safe.
Yeah, they're going to be safe. So I thought it was a good game. It was a game which, if you hadn't seen the results from this season, is a game you would expect between Aston Villa and Brighton. Because
Brighton they attack so beautifully. Not even if they even if they don't score, the way their build up is sexy. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like they've been more cohesive than Chelsea, who's higher up the table. They've been more cohesive than a lot of teams.
Yeah, they don't play like a bottom place team.
No.
They actually play like a team that actually knows what it's doing.
Yeah.
You just can't seem to get any goals though.
Yeah, but Welbeck put that ball in the back of the net, and he gets his first Brighton Hove goal. And but here's a funny thing. So he scores that goal, and I don't know how much of that game you saw, but right after he scored, you saw the whole thing.
No, I saw the second half. Yeah.
Second half. Well, right after he scored that goal, Lamptey gave him another ball. And he overtouched it, and the referee got it back. And I was like, those 2 plays, the goal and that play, sums up Welbeck perfectly. That's who Welbeck is. The guy who should have had 2 goals has 1. So
1 goal,
in a game where he might only get 1 chance, but it's a definite chance, you don't know. That's a 50-50. You turn 100% chance into a 50-50.
Just by being Welbeck.
Just by being Welbeck, yeah. So but
I'm happy though that Burnley got some points this week, and Brighton got some points, because I feel like they've the league table kind of lies when it comes to those teams. They've been better than even Sheffield actually.
Yeah. Poor Sheffield. They lose to West Ham. Yeah. And the homeboy scored. He hasn't scored in a minute. It's like they dumped a lot of money on him. How much did Haller cost? Like 50 or 60 million? That's
maybe not that much, but I think at least 30, 40. Let me see.
£45 million, bro.
Yeah.
That's a lot for a dude. He got 3 more goals than me and you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a lot.
They could have paid me to do none of that that he's not doing. So shit. Yeah. Let's see. So you were talking about entertaining games when you was talking about Brighton Hove versus Villa, but let me tell you something, man. Leeds
Oh my
0-0 with Arsenal was lit. Let me tell you something, bro. Like, I mean, I can't act like I've never seen an amazing 0-0 game before, but this goes in the top 10 of 0-0 games.
Yeah, it was
Like,
Leeds.
for real.
Leeds 0, the goalpost 0.
yeah.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, the
Playing
goalpost
against
kept
the goalpost.
the goalpost kept a
Just
clean
a clean
sheet.
sheet. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Leeds would be kicking themselves because they'll never get a better opportunity to like get 3 rock solid points.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, against Big 16.
Yeah.
So, but you remember, like, we were having this conversation a couple of weeks back, or maybe a month back, about how Arsenal plays. Like, I think it was just before the Arsenal Man United game.
Right.
And so this is how they play. Like, every game they start on an even keel, and that can soon turn into playing as if you are Leeds and the other team is Arsenal. Like what you would expect from a team that's recently been promoted from the championship. So
but Leeds is not a typical team that got promoted from the championship.
But like use any other team's name. Like they literally play like a bottom half team, as if they're going up, and they play every game as if they're going up against a big team. And that's reflected like ever since Arteta's been around. Like you see, I've never seen one of these teams, like a Big 6 team, get outshot over such a long period of time. Like even like when Mourinho was in United, Mourinho sometimes at Chelsea, Conte at Chelsea, like they were considered park the bus coaches, but even they used to comfortably outshoot. Their teams used to comfortably outshoot their opponents. Right. Like this is pretty unprecedented what we are seeing with Arsenal under Arteta, and and the fact that they've actually played out of the back. Like I've never seen a team that plays it out of the back to do essentially nothing. Like, why are you making all that effort to then lose the ball in midfield and go nowhere?
Well, you got to look at like Arteta like Klopp, and you have to give him a Klopp amount of time to whip this Arsenal team into shape. Like, to be fair, Leeds has been Leeds longer than Arsenal has been with Arteta. Like Leeds has been with Bielsa. This is like their 3rd season, so every player knows what their job is, and the beauty of it is, even though they came up to the top league, none of their jobs changed. And they added players. And it's like, we're going to do the same thing we did before. It's not like you're Burnley and you got promoted decades ago or however long it is. And then you come up and say, we have to change our style of play because of the league we're in. Leeds is like, we're still going to be Leeds. So there's nothing new to learn except to apply everything that they've already been taught and drilled and had experience doing. Whereas Arsenal is like this hodgepodge of young players, people that they bought to like fill in stop gaps and big holes in the hull of a ship, and players that they want to get rid of, but they still have to play because they got them. And then a new coach that had nothing to do with none of this shit. Yeah. And then he has to like make a team. And then there's moments when they look like, oh, he finally solved it and got it right. But then, the things and the holes that he's covered up, it's like a plumbing. If you use that little plaster thing and some masking tape, it'll look.
I think
for a little bit.
Yeah, I think Arsenal is gonna give him time because they seem to have like invested fairly decently in his ideas and given him kind of what he wanted. Maybe not all the way, but maybe that's coming. The players that he wanted, like giving Aubameyang that huge contract, giving David Luiz an extension, getting Willian on a big contract at that age. These are all choices that.
And you were right about William so far. Yeah.
We'll come to that. But so these are choices that
I just wanted to cop to it before you got to it. So
no, you think you're gonna get away with just one line? No, that's not happening.
No, you got to be gracious, yo. You have to be gracious. Don't come off like an asshole.
Like I watching 90 minutes of Arteta's Arsenal every week. Why do you think I do that? There's only one reason. I'm gonna watch them on Thursday night playing a Wi-Fi password somewhere in the middle of nowhere.
That's hilarious. You're that determined to prove me wrong.
I'm so committed.
You hate William that much. You watch him at Arsenal.
I am more committed to William at Arsenal than Mikel Arteta is probably.
Hilarious.
So I think they're gonna give Arteta time, but it's getting closer to a time period where, like by the end, like if they don't get to top 6 by the end of this year, he would have been at the job the same time as Unai Emery was, and he got sacked.
But Emery didn't win anything. He's already won.
He's already won, but I think things like at a financial level, things like top 6 qualification matters more than an FA Cup win. Well, to be fair, you're right. FA Cup win did get them Europa League championship. But if he finishes 2 consecutive seasons outside the top 6, that's...
What if he gets him another trophy this year on top of, some progress?
Wigan under Roberto Martinez won a trophy that did them nothing.
That's Wigan, though.
That's Wigan, but you still need to go somewhere. You still need to, because Wenger used to win FA Cups at the end of when he was done. Right, everybody knew he was done.
Right.
So,
you have to look at it different. I just think people are looking at things wrong. There's coaches that can come in and win right away, but sometimes, anybody could come in and coach Chelsea because they were set up right. So actually, when you fired a coach at Chelsea, it wasn't because you weren't firing a Chelsea coach.
Yeah.
During a rebuilding phase. You were firing him when he should have won. Why are you firing somebody during rebuilding when they actually are going in the right direction? You're just he's not going in the right direction fast enough.
But are they really
That's just going to slow you down?
But are they really going in the right direction if they were in the top 6 under Unai Emery and finish 8 consecutive seasons don't finish in the top 6 consecutive seasons under Arteta?
But did Emery get them in the Champions League?
Not Champions League, I think. Not Champions League, but at least in the top 6.
Guess what Arteta has done? Fuck the top 6. You don't make no money from top 6. If you ain't in the top 4, you know what Arteta's done? He got them into Europe and won them 2 things. So in way less amount of time. And
that's fine. That's fair.
With Emery's team.
Yeah.
With Emery's team.
No, but that's what I'm saying. It's not enough for Arteta to match Emery because Emery got sacked. He needs to do better than Emery. So he needs to get them in the top 4. At least show that he can get them in the top 4.
But you wait till the end, see what happens at the end of the season.
No, of course. I'm not saying they should sack him or even think of sacking him right now. But I'm saying whatever happens at the end of the season, because I genuinely don't see how Arsenal can turn around things so quickly with the players and manager that they have to get into that top 6. So it's going to be...
Here's the thing. Here's what everybody's ignoring because they just want what they want. I feel like the Premier League, the teams that are not in the top 6 are the best version of all the seasons of teams that were never in the top 6. Every team is tough to beat, and it's just a foul, a VAR call, anything could make a top 6 team lose to one of these teams, or these teams gain points. And everybody's everybody's coaching has evolved, and the way people set up has evolved. like you have a chance to win, not even just going for the draw.
Yeah, but that's not helpful for the Arsenal board when they look at Arteta and they go like, well, you have two of the highest paid players in the league in your squad.
Pepe?
No, Mesut Ozil and Aubameyang.
But here's what saves him with Ozil.
And he's cut ties with Ozil.
Emery, but isn't that the board's thing to get rid of him and sell him and make a deal for him? He's obviously not going to play him. Emery didn't play him. So the fact that Emery didn't play Ozil saves Arteta from not playing Ozil.
But Emery figured out a way to be creative without Ozil. Arteta has not.
Arteta has won one and a half trophies without Ozil.
No, that's true. But like if you look at the exact issues that Arteta is having, Ozil provides a solution to that. So if you're not playing him, that's fine. But it's still on you you've made that choice.
Right.
So
it's not his fault.
You got to make that alternative work.
The guy was there when he got there. It's not his fault.
No, but you made the choice to not use him, right? So you're essentially saying that I can set things up more and get things to work without using Mesut Ozil's creativity.
And he's proved it so far. He won some shit, and now
I know how he won the. We played against him. I know how he won the FA Cup finals, but there's not
still one.
Yeah, but like, does he have a creative solution? I mean, he may have. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, he's so young, and even me as a neutral fan, I want to see what he's got. So if he can, turn things around and find a solution, but the solution can't be playing El Neni and Granit Xhaka in midfield, and that can't be a ticket to like move up the
he probably needs a creative player, and the board needs to be decisive and take the loss on Ozil, because number one, he's only getting older, and the older he gets, the less money they're going to get for him. So he should be out now. By the end of this conversation, he should be sold to someone, even if it's just sold in advance for the January window to a team that they know he's coming to them. But the longer you hold on to Ozil, the older he gets and the less value he has.
Well, right now, I don't think he can leave. He's too big to let go. Like he's earning 325K or something.
Listen, you're losing 300K a week regardless. You could cut that down by helping to pay his salary somewhere else.
Like loan him out and pay half his salary somewhere else.
Or however money works.
But it's also it's also up to Mesut Ozil to want that, right? This dude is not getting selected in the German national team. But so he has no incentive to move away from his comfortable London life.
I'm not saying doesn't he want to play?
I mean, he's already won a World Cup. He's won a Champions. Did he win a Champions League?
Nah, he never won a Champions League. He doesn't have that much. The only thing he got to me is a World Cup
and maybe he's got La Liga, I
FA
guess.
Cups.
Yeah. He won La Liga, and
I
think under Mourinho he won La Liga.
No, I think he left because I'm a Real Madrid fan. So, two-time Super Cup winner. Titles, they're saying Real Madrid titles.
Oh yeah, he won La Liga.
So he won La Liga. All right, I thought he did.
The season. So he has enough YouTube compilations to last retirement. So he can like, why would he want to go somewhere else and still not play well? And at least now, he can have that nostalgic vibe, as he said, before he goes on to MLS, get a last few years. Vibe.
Gee, yeah. I mean, he could just go to the MLS now. Why wait? Go when the younger you go when you're there, the better. And I'm going to take an aside on a player, right? That doesn't play in the Premier League, just to talk about the MLS since you mentioned it.
Yeah.
Ibrahimovic, right? I've never seen no shit like this before. So he scores 2 goals this weekend for AC Milan. AC Milan is a name brand European team. And he's one of the leading scorers in Syria. This guy basically retired by going to the MLS and then went back into like full-on competition at a brand named European team. Do you know, I just thought about this week, Ozil could retire again and go back to the MLS and have the same amount of value or more as when he was there the first time. Like that's how good not Ozil, Ibrahimovic is. Ibrahimovic like basically did his testimonial seasons in the goddamn MLS. And then just like, wait a minute, I'm not done. Went back to Europe, is being a success, and he can at some point go back to the MLS and make more retirement money. That's how fucking good he is. And that's the aside that I wanted to make. And that's just hilarious.
No, that's just mean. I started watching Syria only to see what the hell's going on with this guy. And I mean, I think last season he found a good relationship with that coach in terms of like, he is finally buying into the project. And I think with Ibrahimovic right now, he can only go to such clubs where there's like, he can be the big dog. Because I think his personality right now, like he is so huge that he'll struggle to go to a real top team. I mean, the team will struggle, like something will go wrong. But at a team like AC Milan, which has so much to prove, which is literally a project right now, right? Like they haven't been at the top of Syria for however many years now. So
it's been a minute. I'm an AC Milan fan. It's been a minute.
Yeah. So it's perfect to get that sort of leadership. It's a slower league, so you can actually an older player doesn't hurt you as much in terms of speed, but technique and the brain and the fact that he can actually score a goal from pretty much everywhere. You don't have that many players, and definitely a team like AC Milan was not landing a player like that in the market. So
not when they were in their prime, based on where they are now.
Yeah. So I mean, it was looks like a great whoever made that decision to make a phone call to this guy chilling in LA and get him over there. That guy looks like a genius right now.
Yeah. And he, like one of the goals he scored this weekend was like a header versus like a defender that everybody that was on the market for 90 million, whatever dollars or euros or pounds. He headed the ball over him from distance and at a speed that beat the goalkeeper. So, Ibrahimovic is doing his thing. Just run through the rest of these. Burnley, Crystal Palace, like you said, you're happy that Burnley finally won something. Wolves, Southampton. Southampton is the teams after the top six, right? Southampton is making the case to be in the top four after the top six, the way they're playing this season.
And they're now playing well even without Danny Ings.
Right.
Which always seemed like, are you the kind of team which is what, Jamie Vardy is to Leicester. But no, they're showing that they can actually get results out. So like there are these teams like Southampton, Leicester, Everton who are gonna threaten both top four and top six this season.
Yeah. And then just to swing over to the Fulham and Everton, Richarlison is back. He helped out this week. Our boy Calvin Lewin, still, just goals. They just call this guy goals. It's funny to see the goal scorers on both teams, right? So it's Dominic Calvin-Lewin, a 3-name guy, but only has 2 names on his jersey, and one of the goal scorers for Fulham. And I joked about this before. Bobby D. Cordova Reed he has 3 names on it. It's like, hey, bro, that jersey, you can't hold that many names. Like, just shorten it, bro. But yeah, he scored.
I mean, that game should have been a 3-3 game. Like, I think
the penalty. Fulham missed another penalty. Yeah.
I mean, I was like screaming at the TV because, you know, I watched Fulham only to watch Loftus-Cheek, and he didn't start. And I'm like, what is going on? Like, this loan is going completely crazy. But then he comes on, and he has a great like cameo because he wins the penalty, and this guy like, you know, shoots it to the moon. And Caballero, and then he actually scores the goal, and he looked like the like he was doing those things which was missing after injury, like taking on players, getting into duels and stuff. So, but they could have easily had that 1 point, and it would have dropped Everton a few pegs down.
I know Lookman is like, now you know how I feel, or how I felt last week, and now if we get relegated by 1 point, it's your 1 point. It's the point that you lost, not the point that I lost last week. But Fulham, I feel like as the season goes on, is going to get better because Lookman and your boy Loftus-Cheek should help them.
Yeah, but he hasn't been starting though. That was really concerning. Like, if you can't start for Fulham, that means that that injury has set you back even more than what I thought. But hopefully, like, performances like this can get him back. I won't actually be surprised if in January, if things look good for us in the table, that if we recall some of these guys, like either Loftus-Cheek or Barkley or Ethan Ampadu, because midfield is one place where I feel like...
Can you do that? Or like, isn't there a time on the amount of loan time? You can't like breach that, can you? Or
no, I mean, I think you can, like, in the window you can recall.
Say, give me my guy back.
Yeah, unless there is a specific thing in the contract that forbids that. The default is you can recall. And I feel like we have depth in midfield is one place where we talked about Chelsea having depth. I think in midfield is one place where I'm not really confident of the depth we have.
For real?
Yeah, like the way we want to play now with this, proper holding BM, Conte behind, physical guy, and Havertz and Mount in front. I feel in all three of those positions we are kind of weak in our depth. Like, Kovacic is doing a handy job for now, but I don't really trust him.
Who?
Kovacic.
Yeah, but you still have, I don't know, you got a lot of players that you're not even mentioning.
We have Jorginho, who I don't trust in that holding the
Gilmore.
Gilmore, if he comes back from injury, but he's coming back from knee injury. We don't really know what his level is going to be and how long it's going to take for him to come back into that level. So I'm just saying that there are like 3 or 4 guys who are on loan right now, all midfielders, and I won't be surprised if we go get one of those back in January.
I just want to. So you guys play. We got to go soon. So you guys play Spurs. So you're happy with a draw?
Yeah, I just don't want us to lose, but I still want us to like play the same 4-3-3. Don't go back to 3 at the back to to get a point. But I have a feeling that we will go for it because I've been reading a lot of stuff that the players have had to say and Lampard's had to say, and it seems like the mood in the camp is that we are gonna go for it. So
let me ask you a question. If you went for it and you lost, would you be upset? Or if you're not upset, the fans who want you to go for it, should they be upset? Because
no, you shouldn't be upset
if you lost.
The only time the reason I'll be upset is if you want to go for it, that's fine. But what makes the current Tottenham Hotspur team tick. Exactly. Just don't play into that trap. Just don't give them space on the break. Even if you want to go for it, make sure that if, for example, Havertz and Mount are going up, Conte and the others are going back. So as long as you take turns and you don't like completely play open, like it doesn't matter how, because we know right now this Spurs team can beat anybody. So it's not a shame losing to them. But I don't want us to lose.
Yeah, I have a feeling Spurs will win or tie. That's my feeling. And then we have Southampton, and they're in form for them, and it's just.
How do you feel in terms of, like, we spoke about Arsenal on the table? How do you feel in terms of where you're on the table, and how is it looking for in terms of getting to top 4, top 6?
We just, like, I was talking to somebody, and our issue is it's not even our formation or who you play. Like, we need everybody to play like how Fred plays and how Bruno Fernandes plays. It's like, we just don't always have the desire. And then a lot of, like, the pundits were giving Man United shit. They were like, some people claimed we didn't put in effort this week against West Brom, but I actually disagree with them. And I disagree with them with my naked eye, and I disagree with them stat-wise. First of all, West Brom hardly has any international players, right? So they were rested for 3 games while all our players were all over the world. And I think just by the naked eye that we played hard. It's just that they had all this extra energy, and they used it, but we still we were still energetic. We still played for Solskjaer. And also, if you look at the stats and the possession stats, we played 64%. So how could you say West Brom, we did not give an effort? So I disagree.
Yeah.
So my thing is, just give the effort. The effort is what got us past Everton. The effort is what got us past West Brom this weekend, because West Brom was not easy. They were coming for us. We had 17 shots. All of them weren't quality. But we just have to give the effort, and then we'll get the shots and we'll get the goal. So we had 7 shots on goal. So whoever he put out there, except with the exception of Mata, will piss me off. Like, Mata will piss me off if you start him when we have players that you can play without Mata. Mata is like, you play Mata at the end of a game for 10, 20 minutes, or we are so injured, we bring in Mata. But
it's kind of crazy that, United's not had a good start to the season, but you guys are above Man City.
Yeah. And then, normally you're like, well, Man City's going to get it together, then they're going to make their run. But I feel like by the time they decide to make their run, they might be just fighting to get into the top 4.
Yeah, because it seems like Man City, even though, like, how we spoke about Liverpool, and no matter what injuries they have, you look at the team sheet and it's still a great, there's still so many great players. Even Man City, like, you look at the team, there's Sterling, there's Bernardo Silva, there's Kevin De Bruyne, there's Fernandinho, there's Laporte, there's Ruben Diaz, there's Edison, Kyle Walker. These are all either players who have won in their in the recent past, or players who are, like, really highly rated, like Ruben Diaz. So things shouldn't really go wrong. Like,
something's wrong though.
But something's really broken, because City don't have that same intimidation factor as they used to.
Right. Here's the thing that's just really wrong. The fact that you can't put your finger on what's wrong, what's really wrong. Like, when Chelsea had problems, they said, oh, we'll buy that guy to fix this specific problem. And then it fixes the problem. I don't know what the fuck is going on with City. Like, I'm like, how did they got the shots, and then people are saying that they got out-efforted by Spurs, but they had more shots on goal. So it's like, how are they losing? When you don't know how you're losing, how do you fix that shit? So it's a mystery, and until Pep figures out that mystery, if he doesn't figure it out, they're going to be inconsistent, or they're going to take a long time to make that run that they need to get into the top 4. So I guess we'll find out what the problem is when he finds out what the problem is. I want to give still on soccer, but I watched some highlights of Jamaica, because during international week we played Saudi Arabia twice. We lost 3-0, and then we won 2-1. But the most exciting, crazy, bananas thing about those games, Ravel Morrison. You know who that is?
No.
Ravel played and won the Youth FA Cup with Pogba and
really?
Lingard and those guys.
Wait. I know this guy because Pogba said he was the most talented guy.
Everybody says it. Everybody.
Yeah.
And, he's bounced around. So he's just had issues and problems. This motherfucker's playing for Jamaican national team.
Oh my God. So where does he play at club level right now?
We'd have to look it up because he switches clubs every week.
Oh, looks like he plays for Edo Den Haag, which is probably a Dutch team. Yeah. Dutch team.
Yeah. So he like, if you look at his, like, he's played everywhere. I just think he's like a college student experiencing a gap year. That's what his career is like. He's like
was he good?
Yeah, he was supposed to be a legend. He's supposed to be there now. And but he's played for Manchester United, West Ham, Birmingham, Queen's Park Rangers, Cardiff, Lazio, Queen's Park Rangers again, Atlas, another team I can't pronounce, Sheffield United, Middlesbrough. I can't even pronounce this team. But
was he good versus Saudi Arabia?
I saw highlights, but when he was arguing with the ref about something in a highlight, and the guy said his name, I was like, oh shit, that is crazy. Ravel Morrison's playing for Jamaica.
Yeah.
So that's
what about that other guy? I think that Leverkusen guy.
Oh, he played Leon
Bailey. Yeah,
he played. He had a good game.
Yeah,
he had a good game. So
he's one guy who's supposed to be, those every window those transfers keep coming, targets keep coming about. Right. He's the the next big thing that is. And actually, I won't be surprised if United is looking for him because he's exactly what you need. He's a left-footed right winger.
Okay.
So yeah, you should watch him more.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah. I did. I'll watch him more. It was the fun thing about COVID and the quarantine was when I did get a chance to watch the Bundesliga. And timing is everything because then you get to notice at the time when everybody did that how many US players are playing in Germany, and now they're talking about this magnificent seven, the US men's national team, which we have to pay attention to more and follow more and talk about more. And they have all these young ass great American players, and then Dest, and then Barcelona has another one. I forgot his name that we just talked about him earlier. So we'll see what's up. What do you want to plug? Everybody, Champions League games tomorrow. Yeah. There's some big games. I don't have time to get into them.
I want to say we never got to. So I'll say something real quick. On Willian, he is.
Oh shit.
He's basically. So I keep looking at, because you know how he got like those 2 assists in his first game.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, I know this guy. His average at Chelsea, and he doesn't have the penalties covered anymore. So that's not going to keep inflating his stats. So Arsenal doesn't even win the penalties, so there's nothing he can do anyway. So, but he averages at Chelsea. He used to always average around 200 minutes for every goal contribution, and Hazard on the other hand. The wing would average like around 100, 120, and we'd be like what is he like? Even Washta Pedro was averaging better than him. 18-year-old Callum Hudson-Odoi was averaging better than him. So then he went and does 2 assists in his first game versus Fulham, and either Fulham's so trash or that. Suddenly I'm like, okay, wait a second, and then the minutes keep going on and on and on, and now it's been 11 more games across Europa League. He's not even doing anything in the Europa League. Like that used to be his bread and butter. So now he's back to a royal total of 280 minutes per goal contribution, which is like he's managed to get even worse than what he was at Chelsea. So I
mean, the witch doctor that you use is working, so you should continue to use that witch doctor on Willian. And your Willian doll, when you stick the pins in it, it works. I don't know how your witch doctor or how you got your witch doctor authentic Willian hair and body parts put in the doll to make it actually work, but Hey man, I just hope you never have beef with me like that.
My witch doctor is Dr. Anthony Fauci. He was always right. You guys never paid attention to him.
You said Fauci?
He's been right since March. He's been saying, "Oh, you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to do this, and not by million."
He's right if you're yeah. All right. Well, we'll see. Well, just be happy he didn't accept that 2-year contract.
Oh, yeah.
Well, thanks. It was great having you. Where can people find you?
Yeah. At Sawyer Lawyer on both Twitter and Instagram.
All right. And you can go to my website, ianedwardscomedian.com, and my album is there, 100% half-assed. It's produced by Conan. I think it's just $5. And follow me on Instagram at Ian Edwards Comic and on Twitter at Ian Edwards Comic. Thank you, Aaron Brungardt, for producer, for putting this all together. Peace, one love, be safe. The election is almost over. Just one more year, and we'll find out who the president is. All right, one.